Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Hello, audience, and welcome to Ball Knowers, the final show of this semester and probably the last one of Ball Knowers as we know it. I'm your host. I'm doing the intro today. My name is Luke Dolan, and I'm joined here by the host of the show, Robbie Basil, and the co-host, Cameron Woolley. How are you doing, guys?
First of all, I think we should give a big up to Luke. Good intro. Good intro. Big ups to Luke. I like him, with him being the senior in the room, he should do the intro. And he actually did really well.
Thank
so
you.
Big ups to
Thank
Luke.
you.
A lot to talk about today. Cam is also here as per usual to my right.
Could be better, could be worse.
Could be. I know he's feeling very mixed about the New Jersey Devils or about actually no, it's probably just the New Jersey Devils because the Yankees won by like a lot.
Well,
to
no, well,
Baltimore.
they
You did
lost
lose to
They
Baltimore.
lost the series.
How did you lose that series to Baltimore? What's that about?
Will Warren pitched game 1 and Carlos Carrasco pitched game 3. That's how we lost. That's how we lost.
The disappointment. And that is how you lose to Baltimore. Welcome back to whatever this show is. I think we should open today with the big event from last weekend, and that was the NFL draft. I think that whole night was utter madness for about 10 minutes. I think there was only
there was
first
so
10
fun.
minutes. The first 10 minutes we had Cam Ward getting picked. Then they didn't talk about him, and then they decided to.
They did talk about.
They did
Dude,
talk about
great
him for about
job,
like
ESPN.
4 seconds.
Brilliant.
Well, they get another round of applause.
Brilliant job, ESPN.
How
Mel
does that
Kiper,
happen?
awesome.
Oh my God, no! I know you put up a Sports Grid video about Shador Sanders. Was it last night? Yesterday?
Yeah, it was like that. I got it in last
Excellent
night.
video,
it
by
was
the way.
Yeah, it was a
it was
good video.
uploaded this morning.
Yep.
Excellent video by him last night. Go check it out on Sports Grid because he was not wrong. Sometimes I do disagree with what he says on Sports Grid. Last night with Shador Sanders, not wrong at all. But the big thing I want to focus on our teams first.
Yes.
I'll actually start with Luke today with the New York Giants. They picked Abdul Carter.
They didn't mess it up.
They did not mess it up. As a fan of the team, what was your reaction to getting Abdul Carter?
I mean, we won the draft essentially right there. We got the best player in the draft.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I think the highest. I think
We won the draft in that sense.
like the highest. I said before that Abdul Carter has the highest probability of being a star out of anyone in this draft. And when you get a guy like Carter, I'm sorry, Luke, do you want to
No,
a little
not
more?
really.
Or like it's like when you draft a guy, and I'll get into some of the Giant picks here. I love basically all of them, at least throughout the first 5 rounds, because in the 6th and 7th, you kind of just throw darts at the board. But I think the Giants. Oh,
I can't believe you didn't.
great. I did not mean to do that at all, dude. Dude. I did not mean. Oh my God. But like when you draft.
Oh,
I'm sorry. When you draft a guy like Abdul Carter, like I'm fairly certain we're gonna get a guy who's gonna be a dynamic, game-changing, disturbing game wrecker coming off the edge. And you add that on top of an already really good pass rush and defensive line, headlined by Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. Already with guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, free agents like Chauncey Golson, now Darius Alexander in the 3rd round. The Giants now have, for the first time in over a decade, a real competitive identity. And it is one that they have built as a franchise. They've won all of their Super Bowls, have been won by teams whose identity was getting to the quarterback and making life as miserable as humanly possible for the other team's signal caller. Because when you look at that defensive line, the front 4 right now, I'm assuming on week 1, is going to be Carter, Lawrence, Golston, and Burns.
With Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, with Thibodeau
That's crazy.
and Alexander coming off the bench on top of guys
Jeez.
like Elijah Chatham and other people you could throw in. Who are you double teaming out of that?
You got
Because you have 3 people on that line who are double teamable.
yeah.
It's like Dexter Lawrence. I mean, he eats double teams for breakfast. If you leave him one-on-one with most guards, actually, you know what? Any guard in the league, you leave him one-on-one with anyone, he wins that like
Easily.
50% of the time. Abdul Carter, if he plays the way we think he's going to play, you can't leave him one-on-one with most tackles. Brian Burns, everybody forgets he's a premier edge in this league.
Yep.
And when you have guys who can come off the bench like Kayvon Thibodeau, they're going to be coming in. Dude. I think you're going to see a much more effective and efficient version of Kayvon Thibodeau because he's going to be coming in when the tackles have already played a few reps, when they're tired. Or maybe he'll be coming in some NASCAR packages where they'll be so distracted by the 3 other monsters that I mentioned.
Yeah.
I am so excited to watch this defensive line. Like, I can't believe I'm saying it. And of course, I'm probably going to get burnt on it because I'm a Giants fan, but there's real optimism here.
Burnt like Brian Burns.
There is so much to like here. Because I know a lot of people were saying, oh, there were still some stragglers in comment sections on social media. It's like, well, draft an offensive lineman, draft this, draft that. You need this. When you draft for need and just plug holes everywhere, you have at best kind of mediocre at every position.
Right.
When you have an opportunity to draft a guy like Abdul Carter at number 3 and make one of your units one of the best, if not the best in the NFL. I think if Abdul Carter hits a ceiling, the Giants have the best pass rush in the league.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that. I genuinely do. When you consider Carter and everything I just mentioned with the depth, everything, I think you can have a unit that gets upwards of 50 sacks a year. I think you have a unit that pressures the quarterback, 15 to 20 times a game. And in a division where you are dealing with Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. It doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you are. If you are under constant pressure and duress, you're going to make mistakes and you're not going to play well. We saw that in the Super Bowl. Mahomes, the most untouchable quarterback on earth, and he looked catatonic under that pass rush from the Eagles. And I think we saw that, and that is a blueprint to follow. Because that is a foolproof method to stopping offenses. And yeah, maybe the secondary is a little questionable. Sure, they improved it. Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland, nothing to sneeze at. Andrew Phillips, he's a good nickel. But again, nothing elite. And we've learned this.
It has to be a lot of internal improvement that has to happen.
Yeah, of course. And we've learned firsthand by watching those Super Bowl teams in the 2000s. If you have a good enough pass rush, it makes the job of your secondary so much easier. Because if you can generate pressure with 4 guys, just a front of 4, this is tried and true tested method. If you can generate consistent pressure with a 4-man front without needing to send blitzes or extra help, you will be able, your coverage becomes so much easier. Yeah. It is significantly easier to cover those receivers because the quarterback's going to have significantly less time. And even if he does have time, he's going to be worried. His brain is going to be in other areas. His instincts are going to be out of whack. That's what happens when you have a premium pass rush like that. And that is what I think the Giants are building. If you can build on that, if that hits their ceiling, that is the type of defensive front that can win a Super Bowl.
Right.
It's intriguing to watch out for, a team like the Giants going out and getting a player like Abdul Carter. Getting best available, I thought was perfect from them. I mean, there wasn't a lot of needs that they could have filled at number 3. You lose out on Travis Hunter, who I would have you talked about would have died on the New York turf in about
Yes.
2 seconds.
Yes.
You would
he
have you would have fallen faster than Shador Sanders falling down the draft board. You have other players that they could have had, but you went for best available in Abdul Carter. I think that's excellent. Getting a player like him to beef up that defensive line, like Cam said, I think is a phenomenal ad by them. That's one of my favorite picks of the draft was the Giants not panicking. They did panic later. I will say that.
I wouldn't say the Jackson Dart.
Let me explain why it's a panic move.
Yeah.
You have an aging Russell Wilson. You have Jameis Winston, which, by the way, that Jameis Winston move now makes no sense because they got Russ, but we'll talk about that later. That's for another time. Getting Jackson Dart, a player who, if you've watched film, doesn't really know a snap count very well. That's like a one thing that John Gruden found during one of his series, that Jackson Dart calls games completely different than everyone else, which I don't think is a problem. He seems like a guy who can learn things on the fly, but it's an immediate concern. And the reason I said it was a panic move was the Giants needed to make a splash. They needed to do something to help them into the future and draft somebody that would change their whole team. And they went with Jackson Dart. I don't know if that was the right thing to do.
I think
at that point, because they traded a lot of good mid-round picks that you guys could have beefed up other areas of your team with.
I mean, if he pans out, who cares?
If he pans out.
Also, I think I've seen a lot of people comparing this to drafting Daniel Jones.
No,
This
is
no,
different.
that's
This is
very different.
because the Giants actually traded up to do this. The reason I'm concerned, this was not even the most concerning pick that I found at this point in the draft. Someone else traded up, and I'm much more concerned with them. But the Giants trading a lot of good picks to get a guy who will not start for you at all, probably in year 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was right. I understand what they're trying to do. I don't get trading up and giving up a lot. Not as much as Atlanta did, who trade up to get James Pierce, but they still gave up a ton to go out and draft a guy that is not going to start maybe at all this season. I don't get it.
Well, they got their guy,
They did.
presumably.
Which is good.
And he's gonna sit behind. He's not gonna be thrown to the wolves right away.
But I don't get trading up to do it.
I don't necessarily unless the Rams wanted to draft him.
Yeah,
The
the
Rams-
Rams want.
they
Dude,
did
it-
excellent.
Okay, first of all, if the Rams want it, the Rams immediately traded back, although they got given a heck of a haul to do
Yeah.
it.
Oh my
But-
God, they got a first round pick.
Yeah, they got an extra first round pick to just trade back. It's like, okay, fine, I'll
Alright.
take it. But when you're looking at 2 coaches here, Brian Daboll and Sean McVay. If the Rams really want Jackson Dart, which judging by just the context clues, we won't know for sure. But if the Rams wanted him, remember, that's an organization that knows how to do things. Sean McVay is an incredibly smart human being when it comes to football players. And if he wanted Jackson Dart, then if anything, that's a huge vouch
Yeah.
for him. I mean, I'm not crazy about Jackson Dart. When we traded up, I was like, "Oh, is this going to be Shador Sanders?" But we'll get into Sanders.
Mel
But-
Kiper, what are we
but-
doing, broski? Like, what are we doing?
But like when you look at the price that they paid, sure, they paid. They basically, I'm not going to count that second round pick because that basically just became their second round pick. They kind
Yeah.
of just pick swapped.
Essentially, yeah.
Like the second round pick is a pick swap. So really, in net value, they just gave up a couple of thirds.
yeah.
Now, sure, if you really hit on those third round picks, it's really good. But they traded the 99th overall pick.
Yeah.
They didn't trade 65. That's a huge difference of
True.
value. That's a difference between getting a second round talent, maybe even borderline first round talent, and getting a back of the third round talent.
Yeah.
And they traded their third rounder next year, which I don't really care that much about. The upside here is astronomically higher because like Jackson Dart, if he pans out, he's going to be your quarterback of the future. If he doesn't pan out, then
Oh well.
oh well, you gave up a couple of 3rd round picks. I can live with that.
Yeah.
Especially since he was a quarterback that was taken in the late 20s.
Yeah.
I'm
There's-
surprised
there's
no one
a
traded
lot-
up from earlier. I'm surprised no one traded up from earlier. 'Cause I thought with the need for quarterback for some of the teams and
The Steelers.
the Steelers not. I think that's what changed everything was the Steelers not picking a quarterback, which I think is
I
smart.
was so
from them.
shocked at that.
Derek Harmon's a great ad for them.
Derek Harmon's really good.
They don't
Dude,
have a defeat for their defensive front, a team that
Oh,
might
yeah.
be looking to go in a different direction with a couple of good players.
no, Cam
That's
Hayward.
an excellent ad for what they needed at that moment. And they didn't go out, they didn't really force their hand and try and pick Shedeur Sanders or pick a guy like Jackson Dart. But I want to quickly highlight the Jets draft before we go to
course.
break and picking Membu at 7. I understand what they're trying to do.
It's a tackle.
It's a tackle. How many tackles do we need? I mean, granted, we get
you
injured.
can't have
a-
enough.
Can never have enough.
Okay, for reference, let's run through some of the first round Jets O linemen in recent years. Last year we had Fashanu, who will start at left tackle. We got Elijah Vera Tucker, who can't stay on the field. You have Mekhi Becton, who's not on the team.
Who's not on the team?
You kind of are worried because you have a feeling it's not going to pan out because it's the Jets and an offensive lineman. They usually don't go hand in hand together. So it worries me a little bit from that perspective. I love the mid-round picks we did. Oh my God. The work the Jets did in the middle rounds, that's the best middle round draft I've ever seen from them. They've done a lot of weird things, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the value they got in the middle rounds, getting a guy like Malachi Moore at a 130, I think he was one of our best picks. Getting Mason Taylor, a tight end that we had 2 of on the team, and they both sucked. People were like, oh, they're gonna pick Tyler Warren. They're gonna pick what's his name from Michigan, Loveland. By the way, I didn't like. Tyler Warren. I like versatility. I like Tyler Warren, but getting an offensive tackle isn't the biggest deal in the world. Mason Taylor, I think, is at just a tiny bit underneath the level of Tyler Warren. I'm fine with getting Mason Taylor. Thomas from FSU, didn't see a lot of film on him, but I heard he's pretty nice. Arian Smith, I thought was a bad pick. I thought he was ranked like 210th, and we got him at 110. So I don't know how to feel about that. The other 2 guys I think are good depth pieces. Linebackers in the 6th round for the Jets go like peaches and cream. We do draft a lot of linebackers at that point, and somehow they all work out. So I'm not that worried. And then Barron at 176, not the end of the world. The Jets, I think, did pretty good. I know people were kind of bored with the Membu pick. I know everyone wanted Tyler Warren, but I feel like if we were going to go for Tyler Warren, we would have traded down to do that. I think Indy nailed the pick of getting Warren, but yeah, Jets, don't think they did bad. I think they did pretty good. But before we go to break, who do we think won the draft initially before we talk about Shedeur Sanders? Who won it? Do we have a winner? Anyone want to go with a winner? I know who the loser is. I think there's a clear loser, but the winner, anyone want to go pick a winner first?
I have a few. I have a couple of teams in mind who I think did a good job. I like what the Browns did.
They
Trading
were-
back. I liked that
They're a weird
trade
one.
back.
Yes, I agree.
Because you traded back only 3 picks. You got a first rounder next year. It's Jacksonville. It's gonna be a high pick. And all for that, you settled, quote unquote, for Mason Graham, who's going to be a Pro Bowl or all pro caliber nose tackle.
Yep.
Like that, for that pick alone. Also, like, sure, they had the Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders thing, but
that reeked of Haslam.
that was really confusing. But although Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round is amazing value, just like as
It's pretty-
strictly as a football player.
Yeah.
And I have like 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do have like a billion quarterbacks. I thought the Chargers for not trading up to get Amari and Hampton was pretty
That
good.
was good. I love that fit, dude.
It's,
Jim,
it's good.
I'm,
It's pretty good, isn't
I'm
it?
thinking about drafting Omari and Hampton in fantasy.
I mean,
You know how much Jim Harbaugh loves his running backs.
One draft I know a lot of people were perplexed on, and we're kind of in the middle. New England. I actually really liked what they did. I know the back-to-back Ohio State running backs were kind of weird, but Travion Henderson I think is a great fit to pair with Ramondre Stevenson. They're both very similar, which I know Quinshon Judkins would have been better with New England's system. But getting Travion Henderson and what he can do in the NFL, I think is a phenomenal ad. Getting Will Campbell, they needed offensive tackles. They went out and got, I believe, the best one in the draft. I think they did a phenomenal job out there in New England. They did address some needs. They didn't get a Pro Bowl quality receiver. I'm kind of worried about that for them. I like that because I hate the Patriots. But if you look at what they're trying to do, I don't understand the lack of need of a receiver. Who did you have a winner, Luke?
I mean, the Rams probably just for getting an extra first round pick for next year.
That's fair. I mean, they did pretty good. They addressed their need at linebacker at one point, which they got great value on inside linebacker. I thought overall with what they were trying to do, I thought they did pretty good. Do we have a loser? I think there's one clear loser.
The Falcons.
Really?
I don't.
I went with the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals were.
I'm worried about them. I had a lot of
the Bengals for different reasons.
I'm worried
I think
about
are in
them.
a lot of trouble, but
because of Trey Hendrickson and cap space.
Yeah, because that's what happens when you dump $90 million a year.
I forgot about them.
Like when you dump $90 million a year on two receivers, when you already have your quarterback making upwards of what, like $55 to $60 million, whatever Joe Burrow's making, it's a lot of money. Like, so you're sinking 9 figures already into 3 players. Yeah. That makes it so you have to be almost perfect with your drafting. And the Cincinnati Bengals are far from a perfect drafting team, just like organizationally speaking.
One team was brought up in the chat. I'm going to let Luke address them because they're in the NFC South as well. And I'm surprised Cam didn't mention them off the rip.
The Saints.
The Saints.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. The Saints.
The Aints.
Tyler Shuck.
Really?
In the 2nd round.
Okay. Listen,
Really?
I like it because they're going to tank again. They're going to tank again. Good. They're in a division.
Okay, so you're gonna tank for a quarter. So you're gonna take a quarterback with the 40th overall pick when you could have had a litany of other guys. You could have had a guy like Will Johnson. And then you're gonna
the next Marshawn Lattimore.
And then you're gonna
Kelvin Banks. I mean, they want Kelvin Banks.
Okay,
which I think
I'm never gonna
smart.
complain. I'm never gonna complain about taking a tackle. You know
agree.
my rule.
I know.
I always vouch for teams who take tackles, but drafting Shuck at 40 when in all likelihood you're going to be in the position to draft a quarterback in what everybody's saying to be a significantly better class next year.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Do they want to be competitive next year, I guess?
No. They want to go with a guy who's inaccurate but has a little bit of upside.
I mean,
dude, he's what, 26?
He's going to be 26 and change.
Yeah, he backed up Justin Herbert at Oregon.
Great pick, Saints. Well done.
Yeah, you're wasting a pick. You're wasting a premium pick.
There. I mean, I only say, do they want to be competitive because they play in the NFC South?
Right.
So they might accidentally be competitive.
Like you saw a lot of some good drafting out of the South. And then you saw what the Saints did. When we come back, we're going to go roast Shedeur Sanders for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
When we come back, the Shedeur Sanders rip through is next. Stay with us on WIUR Radio.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Welcome back to whatever this show is, to the randomness and obscurity of this show.
Of ball knowledge.
Of ball knowledge. Yes. I was just about to get to that point. I am the man in the middle, and today we are about to roast Shedeur Sanders. That is what this next segment, the next 5 minutes, we're just going to rip through the Shedeur Sanders pick. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to let you two do this. I'm going to roast the Cleveland Browns today. And the reason I'm going to go after the Cleveland Browns is 2 quarterbacks, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Dose. And you picked 2 that are kind of identical, but not at the same time. You have the short man of Dylan Gabriel, who I'm a big fan of. I like Dylan Gabriel. He's great arm accurate. He's just really short. He's like Bryce Young, but left-handed. And then you went out and picked Shedeur Sanders. That's such a Browns pick. I gotta mention, it's such a Browns pick.
I thought the Cowboys were going to take him.
That's what I was thinking next.
I thought Jerry wouldn't be able to resist.
Yeah, but my thing is this. You have Deshaun Watson, who's on the bad contract. You sign Kenny Pickett, who going into it, I thought was their starter for a minute. You have Joe Flacco for no reason. You drafted Dylan Gabriel first, using a premier day 2 pick on Dylan Gabriel. And then you went out and picked Shedeur Sanders.
Put him on ice.
Which it's great value, but why?
Well,
I don't understand going out and reaching and just throwing a pick away. And that's not even the position they picked 2 of. They picked 2 running backs.
Yeah, they picked
what
2
the hell is this? And then, not to mention, they both kind of suck. So I don't understand that part. Mason Graham trading down, getting an extra first-round pick for a team that could maybe win the South if everything goes their way.
No. That's the.
Do you know how
Jaguars.
bad the Texans' front offensive line is? It's
I
almost
know
as
how
bad as New
dude,
England.
We're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars
Right.
here.
So I'm worried about Jacksonville. I'm worried about the Browns because I don't actually know who made the Sanders pick. Was that an owner pick? Was that a GM pick?
That was absolutely Jimmy Haslam's call. Absolutely.
Since this is probably a Haslam pick, I don't get
the applause in the war room looked so forced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's value. Trade the man. Like, if you're gonna go for value and you think you have some value, then just trade him because he's not gonna start. I think there's a good chance because of character issues he does not make the 53. I'm dead serious on that.
That would be funny.
It would be funny
because you know
there's a good chance I think that happens because of the character problems.
You know, in that process, they were sitting there talking to Cleveland, being like, "We're not gonna play for you if you pick." Like Dion and Sher were like, "I'm not gonna play if you draft me. I don't want to come here. You're terrible." Blah, 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 blah. He tried to pull an Eli Manning or an Archie Manning or whatever, and he showed up woefully unprepared for meetings. He treated himself like he was a transcendent generational talent, which he wasn't.
He didn't throw it his pro day.
Yeah, he did. He never did anywhere.
He threw in the pro day, but he didn't throw at the
All
combine.
right, he didn't throw the that's what
Which is a bigger problem.
But he did nothing at the combine. He acted like he was holier than thou.
He felt like a top 5 pick that
because I think that's what he was told basically, and I don't think people wanted to like really hurt Dion's feelings.
Yeah, because like
even if Shedeur was good or is viewed as pretty good, he just didn't. I don't think teams
also like if you're a team, if you're in the position to draft a quarterback, you're already a regime is kind of in danger.
Yeah.
And if you pick Shedeur Sanders and not everything goes right, he is going to storm into every single office that he can find, and he is going to moan and moan and moan and moan until they hire his dad.
That's just a very Browns move.
Like all he's gonna do when things go wrong is just say, "I want my dad here." That is exactly what he's gonna do. Mind you, I'm saying this as someone who thought of him as a first-round talent, who was not opposed to the Giants taking him at 3, strictly from a football perspective. But he apparently every single story that came out was about how much of a jerk he was, how unprepared he was at meetings, how he thought he didn't have to do anything. He was a spoiled brat this whole time.
He's facing his first
Yeah, he's facing the music. He got that prank call. Dude, I could not think of a player in this draft class who deserved a prank call more than Shedeur Sanders.
I still think that's a little cruel. But
Dude, did you know how he acted?
It's still. I think.
Oh, come on.
the
Can
whole
we
thing-
please? Can we
It's an
please?
unprofessional
It's-
move.
It's an unprofessional. Dude, you
It
want
is.
to talk about unprofessional?
Shedeur Sanders is the definition of unprofessional.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, he deserves that. He deserved it. Abdul Carter didn't. Cooper DeJean apparently last year didn't. Shedeur Sanders absolutely did. And it's a part of the game. Some kids will just happen to get their hands on phone numbers that they shouldn't get their hands on, and they're going to do stupid things. We're college students. We see firsthand just how stupid men our age can be.
Oh yeah.
I think with the whole Sanders thing, it's
You're not getting any sympathy from me.
Yeah, I understand that. And the one part that put me over the edge and why, if I was a GM, I wouldn't draft him. Not because of the numbers, not because of the stats in college. Some of the game film is atrocious. His final game film, awful
Yes.
in that bowl game. The part that put me over the edge is when he got his number retired. You remember that?
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
That's the part that puts you over the edge.
At Colorado, well, he's Colorado royalty, at least over
He
there.
went 13-12. If you do that at a quarterback at any other school, you get
that's
thrown into the transfer
Yeah,
portal.
but this is Colorado.
You
we're
get
talking
banished to the gulag of the transfer
about.
portal
This
and
is
get sent to like
We're
Presbyterian.
talking about the University of Colorado. They've had nothing for the last 20 years.
That's very true. But you can't do that. Like, Travis Hunter deserves it. Travis Hunter is arguably one of the best players Colorado's ever had. Shedeur Sanders is not like that at all.
No, Travis Hunter is the best player that Colorado's ever had.
Well, there you go.
Like, I think from strictly a collegiate perspective and how dynamic he was, yes, he does deserve to have his number retired.
I'm kind of worried though for Colorado because this looks really bad for them.
yes.
Just retiring a guy.
Well, because
number of
they're
a
just
fifth-round
bending,
pick. Done.
they're just bending the knee to Deion Sanders. Their whole program, they just compromised everything to just let Deion do his thing. And to be fair, I think he's done a pretty good job as a coach. I love Deion Sanders still. He vouched for Eli when I was a kid, dude. I'm not going to sit here and throw him under the bus, but he handled this process with his son terribly. Now, sure, I get as a father, he's trying to do good by his kid, but both of them just overplayed the hell out of their hands.
One question from the chat. Shout out the chat. Can you scroll up a little bit, Luke? Because I found a great question. And we found out. Hold on. All right. What was worse, Mel Kiper with Shedeur Sanders or Chris Collinsworth with Patrick Mahomes?
I mean,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
well, I mean,
Good question.
Oh,
Listen,
that's hard.
Listen, Mel Kiper thought Jimmy Clausen was a top 10 quarterback way back when.
Yep.
All right.
Jimmy Clausen.
It's basically who's who. It's any given year. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mel
For
Kiper.
Mel Kiper.
The Mel Kiper.
40 years he's had that gig.
How is that possible?
40 years.
At some point when you go and
Gone are
say,
the days of him praising Chad Pennington.
I mean, at some
Okay,
point,
to be fair, Chad
Pennington
Pennington
was at
for a
least
couple of years.
decent.
Chad
It was at least
Pennington was
pretty
pretty
good.
good for a couple of years. If he didn't
Or
get
the
hurt.
better of praising Christian Hackenberg.
ooh,
Go.
okay. That's bad.
You want to one day we'll
That's
bring
very
these
bad.
two back and we're gonna run through all the bad Jet quarterbacks because there are.
I don't
do
think
we-
we have
do
enough
we
time.
have enough time?
We don't have enough
Well,
time.
I got a quick shout. Shout Luke Falk, Bryce Petty.
Oh.
Who else sucked? Josh McCown's pretty good. Greg McElroy played 2
Sims.
games on 0-2. Sims, another one. Who else sucked? Zach Wilson. Sorry, bro.
Tim Tebow.
He actually was pretty good
When-
for the 1 year or 2. I don't know how long he was there. Mike Vick played for the Jets. I forgot
I
about that.
forgot he played for. Oh my, that's right. He played for the. I forgot he played for the Jets.
Trevor Simeon towards ACL in the first game with us. Came
Was that
back
at MetLife?
No, actually, it was at
Oh.
Detroit. Came back, got hurt again. Sam Darnold, after his 1 year wonder with
got mono.
after destroying the Lions and destroying his throat with mono, he then became a failure. And then I thought honestly we were gonna pick another one, but we do have
Mono is a middle school kissing disease, by the way.
We do have one more quarterback to add to this list. We just learned about the end of the career of Jordan Travis.
Yeah, that was
GG's to
that's
Jordan
it.
Travis after
That stung.
retiring due to an injury. He did tear his ACL, like destroy his knee or whatever in college at
Yeah.
Florida
Yeah.
State. Never could recover. I love drafting him. I felt
Yeah.
like he could have been pretty good, but he won't be coming back. While Shedeur Sanders will be lingering in our minds for days, we have hockey to talk about because we can't be here all day. And we're going to start with the Winnipeg Jets. I'm kidding. We're not starting with the Winnipeg Jets, even though they played a hell of a game last night.
I just gotta
against the
say,
St. Louis
I just
Blues.
gotta say, the people who are up in arms, like, oh, you can't give a goalie $11.5 million when he's not the best goalie. Igor Shesterkin can raise a team to a conference final
in the
appearance.
playoffs.
Connor Hellebuck,
the-
Connor
he-
Hellebuck, man, what's going on here?
Igor Shesterkin dragged those Rangers teams kicking and screaming.
Connor Hellebuck's
to
the
the
Clayton
conference
Kershaw
final.
of hockey right now.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, ooh, that's right.
right now.
they
I
got to
mean,
play.
at Four Nations, he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Four Nations he was great, but right now it looks kind of meh. Speaking of teams that look meh, Edmonton, are we okay? Like
They're up in the
they-
series.
They're now up, but they haven't looked great. I mean, they look okay, but
And they went to the finals last year.
But I'm saying they didn't. It doesn't feel like they're a team that can make it back to the.
Have you
finals.
seen a goaltender? No,
Yes,
to be
I
fair,
have.
that somehow got them to the finals.
Right. Teams that want to roast Toronto. What the hell are we doing with Ottawa?
Oh my, oh,
No,
And
don't.
everyone's thinking it.
Everyone's
Sober
saying
up.
it. Don't, but don't say it. Don't.
Everyone's thinking it.
Everyone's thinking-
Sober up.
You
figure it
know
out.
Steve
We'll,
Dangle.
we'll find out tonight.
We're gonna find out in
I
about.
cannot wait to
6
watch that.
hours.
I will be seated for
I
game
am
6
I
tonight.
am watching
Yes.
that game. Oh,
Let's
I
go
cannot
Sens.
wait.
But speaking of inevitable failure, we're gonna talk about the hospital bed of the Devils.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, that
Double overtime loss. Listen, I knew they're going to lose in some excruciating way.
why couldn't we just get blown out?
That's
Like,
what I was
I
thinking.
just wanted it to be halfway through the second. My blood pressure could be lower. I could just chill out and I could just be like, okay, you know what? We ran out of gas. Like,
Double OT
like
loss.
I will give them this. They fought a lot harder than I thought they would in this series. Because some of the games that they lost could have gone in. Like game 2 could have gone either way.
Right.
Game 4. Now, I don't know about game 4. But games 2 and 5, especially 5,
You could have
Could've gone
won.
either way. But like,
Yeah.
and obviously, when I look at the reason that the Devils lost this series, I think you look at two big reasons. Obviously, one, the injuries.
Yeah.
Even the guys who came back healthy were dealing with something. If it was the regular season, Dougie Hamilton, who we have to have very difficult conversations about,
You
He would-
praised
he-
the man in October.
he-
Now he's
but he would not be playing if this were the regular season. And Jonas Siegenthaler, who I think played admirably enough, he would not be playing if this were the regular season.
Right.
And on top of this, you had injuries like Luke Hughes was out when a team who needed offense. You need a dynamic guy like that when you already have people out and no scoring depth. You need a guy like Luke Hughes there.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kovacevic, who
got injured too. Yeah.
like, who,
you
like,
got,
What
who-
happened
like,
to
who-
him?
who was really Brendan Dillon. I don't care about Brendan Dillon anymore. He's an anchor for the next 2 years. He's terrible. But,
Didn't
like,
you also praise him like in the beginning of this show?
Well,
Like
in the
like a
beginning
couple
of the
weeks
year,
ago?
in the first semester, when the Devils were a wagon who gave up less than 20 shots a game, then yeah, I praised him. But because I was
The
just looking at what
duality
was
of man.
happening
The
on ice.
duality of man, right there.
Like, also, there's no depth.
That is true. That's a very good point.
there's no forward depth. at
There's
least.
no scoring. And
What in the Edmonton Oilers is
And
this
so, like,
team?
if you look at this season in a vacuum, it's like, yeah, shrug your shoulders, blame it on injuries. This happens. This happens to every team. I mean, even look at the teams who win cups. This happens to them. They get knocked out in the first round because some injuries don't break right. But when you look at some of these injuries, this is the second year in a row that Jack Hughes' shoulder gave out on him.
That's a good
We
point.
gotta have there's a conversation to be had there. Dougie Hamilton, he's old, he's slow, he's making $9 million a year. especially when you consider the contributions of Simon Nemitz in the first round, scoring
overtime
the
goal.
double overtime
Yeah.
winner and playing great in every
Nemitz
single
looked
game he
good.
played. I think that is the biggest positive to come out of this series. Nemitz proving that he can be a stable right side defenseman in these big games.
Mhm.
I could care less what he does in the regular season if he shows up like this in the playoffs. But you look at what's happening here. I mean, out of all the players who I think are mostly blameless, Nico Hischier definitely blameless. He is the heart and soul of
Oh,
this
yeah.
team, captain,
Up Nico Hischier.
like one of he's elevated himself to a higher position among the players in
Oh,
this
yeah.
league. He is so good, and he put every ounce of his body and heart and soul into that series and tried dragging that team kicking and screaming to the second round. I think of another player who's blameless mostly, Timo Meyer. Yeah, even though he fanned on that open net in game two,
that's-
like he
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Timo Meyer was good. The core did their part.
Good.
At least among the guys who are healthy. Nico Hischier, Timo Meyer, Jesper Bratt, they did their jobs.
And Markstrom.
Yeah, Jacob Markstrom, despite a couple of stinkers that he gave up in games 4 and 5, if you watch that third period in overtime, he was getting just bombarded. It was a firing squad at him that whole time. Oh my God. I don't know. I was watching in my room and a couple of my friends were watching with me. We were and they don't really know that much hockey. Like we were just watching, and every single time he made a save, we were like, how is this game still being played?
Yeah.
Like how? Like I knew what was gonna happen, and like it sucked. I mean, there are so many people who I want off this team or fired. Sheldon Keefe is not one of them. I think he did a good job given the just catastrophic forward depth on this
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Justin Dowling should not be playing.
Yeah, Justin Dowling should not be playing games. Andre Palat should not be playing games, even though he was okay in this series considering what he's been.
But you got to move that cap.
Like you have to move that. Justin Dowling, get off my team. Nathan Bastian, sure, maybe you can fit on a fourth line, but I don't want you here. The third line, I mean, like Cotter, yeah, you can stay, but we can do so much. Like Cody Glass should get slid down to the fourth line. Stefan Nason, yeah, you can stay.
Yeah.
You look at the top six, dude. You have Dawson Mercer
He
can't be
can't be a top six
Dawson
guy.
Mercer can't be in the top 6 anymore. I think I was looking at the UFA class, and I'm looking at what the team should do now that everything's all died down and we're all kind of settled in, looking at the big picture here. First of all, Tom Fitzgerald should get the hell out of here. I don't know how you turned the 2023 team that was all but a lock to be in the Eastern Conference Final year in and year out for the next decade, and you turn that team into this.
It's because he didn't.
All because you listened to the wrong people and misdiagnosed the problem on this team.
Well, also that began by not getting an actual goaltender.
Yeah.
Before 2024.
Yeah, before that would have changed the whole outlook because you still had that fast team.
Yeah.
Him sitting on his hands and doing it. Tom Fitzgerald, get out of here. He is not. He's a good GM for a rebuild. He's not a good GM for what this team needs to be right now.
It's like the Orioles right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have it in him to shift gears and be proactive.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at the UFA class, he does his work during the summer. He needs to make big moves during the summer.
If he's still here.
And I'm looking at it. No, he's still going to be here. He's still going to hang out. There are GMs plenty worse who get way longer leashes than him. Not just in Canada, but south of the border as well.
Chuck Fletcher.
Yeah, who's currently in the Devils front office right now. So
That's right. That's right.
also like him.
I found Tom Fitzgerald's replacement.
Also, yeah, because if you fire Tom Fitzgerald, they're going to promote from within, and whoever they promote from within is going to be so much worse. It's either going to be Chuck Fletcher for terrible reasons, or it's going to be Kate Madigan for the cheap headline.
Right.
But I was looking at the UFA class, and this is kind of the last point that I want to make on the Devils. I am throwing bags at 2 people because I'm thinking of guys who can be a little cost effective, but still fill their role on this team effectively, especially for what the team identity is now. I'm throwing bags at Sam Bennett, and I'm throwing bags at Morgan Geekie. No,
Good
more
shout, Morgan
now
Geekie.
Morgan Geekie, 30 goal scorer. I'm
Yeah.
surprised that you talk about a guy who can be a perfect third line center.
He's
Morgan
got-
Geekie.
Yeah.
Sure, he played with he played with David Pastrnak, but Pastrnak, if anything, you'd rack up assists.
Yeah. I mean, Geeky can shoot the puck.
Yeah, he
as
can
a-
shoot, and this team needs shooters. I think they had upwards of minus 20 goals scored above
What
expected.
about Ryan Donato? You guys think? Donato?
No, this team needs goals. They need goals, and if Geeky doesn't get extended in Boston,
What if they get Mitch
He's
Marner?
more goals than Sam
yeah,
Bennett, no?
Mitch Marner, you want to talk about a loser? Oh, no. He's going to get
If-
$17 million a
if,
year.
If the Leafs don't go to a game 7 against the Sens,
I am
I don't know.
not. I
Marner's the same
am
age
not.
as Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett, I think. I'm
I was like, Sam Bennett, 'cause
divided on
what the
Sam Bennett.
Devils are trying to do now, they're trying to become more of a bruising, heavy physical team, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And that's okay, but you need guys who can do that. And I think Sam Bennett, you pluck him straight from Florida and you put him into that system. I
Yeah.
think he'll do fine. Also, he can score.
yeah. My only question
You
is
put him on the line. Also, he'd be on a line with Jack Hughes. So that wouldn't suck either.
Yeah, that
not
would-
suck.
It's just he's probably going to cost a lot.
That's why I said get Donato because he's projected to cost less. Donato coming out of Chicago,
Well,
31 and
Sam
31
Bennett,
on
I
the
think,
year.
does a lot more than Donato does.
Right,
Even if
but
Donato is
like,
good.
no,
But
thi-
aren't you
thi-
trying to
this
save
team
money in
need-
this while still trying to get good talent?
No, this team needs another force in their top six.
Do you have the cap space to do that?
I mean,
It can be finagled.
If you get rid of Palat, definitely.
Get rid of Palat and Hamilton.
Have fun in San
That,
Jose.
that, that
goddamn
is
lot.
that is $16 million that you're freeing up if you get rid of Dougie Hamilton and Andre Palat.
Yeah, along with the cap.
That's a
hit
lot more than I
rising.
thought.
Yeah, also the cap. Yeah, the cap's raising too. So
Yeah, cap space. What is the Devils cap? Can we search that up, please?
Oh, look.
All right, time for the cap space search. Who has money and who can take Andre Palat? Time to
I do
figure out
some
where he will
Anaheim.
probably.
Anaheim.
Yeah,
Anaheim's just the dumping ground for people's cap space.
I mean,
Isn't
I mean,
that
they
for
were
the
trying to, they're
Rangers,
interviewing
though?
Joe
Isn't that for the
Quenneville.
Rangers though? Isn't that only for Rangers players because they got like a lot
Oh
of
no,
former
the
Rangers?
The Rangers, they can get out of whatever bad contract they want to.
So this is what it feels like to be Steve Yzerman. I
They
guess.
can get out of whatever bad contract they want. They can sign Jacob Trouba to an 8x8. Nope, that's fine. Well, that's fine. You can get value for him. You sign Barkley Goodrow to an albatross contract. No, we'll pick him up off waivers for you. I have never seen a league more eager to bail out another team's.
Now, where were you in the Steve
Terrible.
Yzerman era of Tampa Bay? Where were you?
Good question.
The silence says a lot.
Who did they? Okay, I haven't done a lot of homework on that.
Oh,
Who did they? No, who did they give up?
they basically, I think they had one of the pick. No, they had one of our picks that was traded for. I think when the Ryan Callahan trade. No, they traded to the Islanders, and
God,
they somehow fooled the Islanders into thinking, "Oh, Josh Hosang is going to be a good player. You should draft him."
Josh Hosang.
I gotta figure out who, but like the Lightning kept getting bailed out by NHL teams.
I mean,
I'm just saying it's a recent example. The
Right.
Rangers got out of Jacob Trouba. They got out of Barkley Goodrow. They got out of Ryan Lindgren.
where is Ryan Lindgren?
Colorado.
Oh, nice. Hey, there's a couple of former New York players on that Colorado Avalanche team with Lindgren and Nelson and Devon Taves. I hate how many Avalanche players are former Islanders. It kind of makes me very sad because of how much my favorite player for a couple years was Devon Taves. I loved him.
He's really good.
He's making nothing. He's making like $5 million a year.
That's a
And he-
premier defenseman too.
For $5 million a year. You could get two of those for the price essentially of Dougie Hamilton. Think about that.
I would
Two
happily,
Devon Taves.
for one
Yep.
Dougie Hamilton. Yep, I'll
Brilliant.
happily. I'd take that.
Unbelievable.
If I don't take that trade, I'd ask you to shoot me.
Good. Devon Taves, love him, but he probably won't be leaving the Avs. Real quick, we're going to take a break. I know you want to talk about the Rangers. We're going to give
Briefly.
brief on the Rangers, Mets, and Yankees, and our final sign-off is next when we return.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Welcome back to Utter Madness for the final moments of this great show. Before we continue, I know today is decision day for college students, so shout out all the future Gales that might be joining our club next year. I'm your future president, Robbie Basil.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
I think we
What a
got
guy.
it.
Clap it up.
Thank you. Very happy to become president next year. I'm very excited. Right? Actually, I'm not going to say that because my friends know what to put in the chat. I know some of them are here. So you guys know, or were here. So you guys know what to put in the chat. That's not what I thought you were going to say to JJ. So shout out to JJ. I know he's coming here to Iona. There's a couple other boys that are coming to Iona. And like I said, today's decision day. Shout out all the future Gales. Can't wait to meet some of y'all next year. Either who are incoming freshmen or from the transfer portal. Shout out to you guys. But before we end this incredible show, I think we should do one final segment on the Rangers and where they're at, and we're going to send it over to our eternal Rangers fan in Luke Dolan.
So they extend Chris Drury, which I didn't think. I didn't know he needed an extension. I didn't know he needed one. I was already under the assumption he was just had it for as long as he wanted. But given that, and also interesting news that came out early in the week, the Penguins and Mike Sullivan were parting ways. The Rangers had a coaching search and then it ended. Essentially, they're gonna be going in after one guy. It feels almost inevitable at this point. They're gonna try to hire Mike Sullivan, which they're gonna say, oh, it's because he's won a cup before. I think Mike Sullivan's a good coach.
Yeah,
but
Mike Sullivan is a good coach.
But
If you get him, you're going back to the playoffs.
I could probably see that. I
And
mean,
you're
a lot
gonna
of other
make a
things
deep
need.
run.
A lot of things also need to change if that's gonna happen.
No, he's going to magically fix everything because everything comes up Rangers at the end of the day.
They're a weird one. It's a weird conversation to have, isn't it?
It is, but like, I don't like hiring retreads, even if I think I think highly of Mike Sullivan.
Dude, it's the NHL.
But also,
Yeah.
This is a league of retreads.
but also, 3 coaches in NHL history have won cups with multiple teams. Oh, and 2 of those were before 1947, and the other one was Scotty Bowman, who is the greatest hockey coach of all time. It does. I just don't know the thought process here. It doesn't happen. That's my one thing. But it seems like they're gonna hire Mike Sullivan. It's just a matter of like what any given day now. At this point,
Are you worried about that, or
I mean, if they want to set up the structure that way, because I think Sullivan's going to be here for the long run. If that's the case, if that's how they want that stability, all right, fine. I'm not going to complain too much with that, because I think Mike Sullivan can get a lot out of this team. I just don't know what their ceiling will really be, if it's going to be a passable team.
yeah?
And also, he gets to choose. Does he want to be in Boston, which is apparently another spot he could go to? Has goaltender be Jeremy Swayman or Igor Shesterkin? Who you choose in that situation?
Who would you choose in that situation?
Because
Igor
a good
Shesterkin.
coach is as good as his goalie is as good as his
Yeah.
goalie.
Dude, Lindy Ruff got fired because he had terrible goalies.
Yeah,
Yeah, R.I.P. Mackenzie Blackwood, who actually is doing pretty good.
Well,
He's
yeah,
doing
well,
great. The
Found new life.
end of tenure Devils, Mackenzie Blackwood, and whoever else. Who else did you stick in goal at that time at the end of Lindy Ruff?
Oh boy.
Can you name some random goalies for us?
Nico Dawes.
That was pretty recent though.
Was it Kier Schmidt part of that?
Capo Kakkonen,
Yeah.
who was okay for us.
That's concerning.
Jake Allen was although Jake Allen's also here.
Scott Wedgwood.
Scott Redwood.
Oh God,
that's
Scott,
a
dude,
shout.
Scott Wedgwood's a good backup
He's
now.
he on the Colorado with Blackwood.
Boy, that's a great look on Dave Rogalski, the
Yeah.
Devils goalie coach. That's a fantastic look to have two guys who sucked in your system go to another team, be the same exact goalie tandem, and be fighting for a playoff series.
I mean, also Colorado is a pretty good team if you don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Too.
Colorado's. I mean, yeah, Colorado is a significantly better team than Blackwood or Wedgwood have ever played in front of in New Jersey.
Yeah. Also, John Cooper might be leaving Tampa Bay.
Oh boy. So you're gonna get one or the other 2-time cup winning coaches.
Woo! Go on. I listen. One of them might
I
come
would
to the
honestly-
Islanders. Who knows?
okay,
We-
I
we
would-
need a coach.
John Cooper's like the one guy I would fire my
Actually-
coach if he's available.
Oh no, we need a GM. What the hell am I saying? We need.
Dude, I'd fire
So I think
Sheldon.
he might go to Utah.
I
Apparently,
would Utah. That would
I think he has. I think he has a connection with like one of the owners.
That'd
yeah.
actually be pretty good
maybe.
for-
Per Larry
that'd actually be
Brooks.
pretty fun.
Per Larry Bricks, but that might also be tampering, Kevin.
I mean, Utah are in a very weird spot, so I actually would not be against that.
but yeah,
But-
want to talk about baseball real quickly
Yes,
before
let's
we
go to
end?
baseball. We're gonna start with the we're gonna save the best team for last. So we'll start with the team that is not as good as the New York Mets, and that are the boys in pinstripes and the Yankees, who, as Cam mentioned before, lost the series to a team that's under 500 and that has no starting pitching. The Orioles. How have you done that? Do we need to
Was
bring
it-
the series
was it-
back
was
in
it-
chat?
Everyone calls my Yankee pessimism a fake gimmick, but
Sometimes
the
it
series
is.
like this happen twice a month for this team. I will say the offense has been good. I'm really liking the offense. I think Ben Rice has been a revelation. Like, who knew we had the Juan Soto replacement there the whole time? We had
Yeah.
Ben Rice just right there.
Brilliant. It's absolutely
And-
brilliant.
And you're getting contributions from other people. I mean, Trent Grisham.
Shout
Paul
out to him.
Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt hitting like
although-
370 or whatever.
Paul Goldschmidt, I think, is the biggest case of habit block that I've ever seen. He is going to fall off a cliff around June. We are not going to be seeing this out of Paul Goldschmidt the
He
entire
doesn't
year.
play for the Mets though. You guys don't fall off in June.
I mean,
No. The Yankees.
I mean, anything's
do
better than
fall
what
off
they were
in
getting
June.
out of Rizzo.
Yeah. The Goldschmidt is an upgrade, significant upgrade at first base, offensively speaking.
Yeah, in 10 minutes. Yeah, the Mets play in 10 minutes.
Like the reason that the Yankees lost this series was because of their rotation, the way it was lined up. You had Will Warren pitching game one, who sucks, and predictably got shelled. And then game two, you had Carlos Rodon, who pitched really, had a perfecto going through 5, but then sort of tapered off in the 6th. But he pitched well, and the Yankees scored 15 runs. And then in game 3, they had Carlos Carrasco,
Oh,
who also sucks, and he predictably sucked in that game too. So what are you gonna do?
with the wall.
Also, there's something about this offense that is just incapable of coming back.
Was it
in
in
games.
Baltimore?
Yeah, it was in Baltimore.
Did the wall being back in? Did the wall being back in didn't help you guys? I guess.
No, the wall being back in did not help. Most of our homers were to right. Funnily enough.
Mm. I mean, Yankees are in an interesting spot.
It's so weird because like they're close to the best record in the American League. Or I think Detroit
they
might have
are.
passed them after last night.
Are
Dude,
they?
dude, Detroit's shocking me. Like, I know I picked them to win the division, but 19-12
I mean, well,
Detroit.
they actually have pitching now.
Dude, like, given the way that the AL East is going, the Yankees might be able to win the division with like 89 wins.
Yeah,
Maybe. There was 3 teams under 500, and you just lost a series to the team in last.
When did the
Yeah.
Mariners get first place in the West?
That's what happens when you win 8 of 10, ladies and gentlemen. It's when you
Because
the Mariners.
dude, the Mariners
The
do
Rangers
this,
are in 4th
the Mariners do this how often?
too many times.
Yeah, dude. They're the Mariners.
I know. And then,
They're
like,
not gonna. I know everybody wants to say that. Oh, this is their year because everybody loves the Mariners. Like the Mariners are America's team, pretty much. Everybody.
the underdog.
In most neutral playoff series,
Oh,
I think the Mariners in October have the biggest fan base in baseball.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Speaking of teams that no one likes and that are actually good, the Atlanta Braves have decided to wake up and play baseball. I don't
Yeah.
like that. Please go back to how you were playing week one.
Listen,
Cue
please.
that cue,
I-
Frank Fleming.
listen. I knew that was gonna happen. That's why I picked him to win the division.
They won 7 of 10. What the hell is this?
The Braves never lose.
Exactly.
True.
But the team that doesn't lose, well, except for yesterday.
By the way, I gotta mention
No.
this. There are, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 5 teams that have won 10 or more home games in the National League. Who do you think are some of those teams?
Well, I know one of them.
which are the Mets.
The Mets.
It's the Mets, the Phillies. What can you name the other 3?
The other 3. Is it the Dodgers?
Yes. There's one more West team and a team in the Central.
I'm gonna assume the
Giants.
No.
the
Padres.
Padres.
Yes, Padres are one of them. Giants have 9 wins.
Okay.
Who is the team in the Central?
Cubs.
Close. They have 9.
Brewers.
No, also have 9.
Oh wait, the Reds.
No, they're under 500 at home. It's the St. Louis Cardinals. But they've been so awful on the road. They have the
Oh, yeah,
worst
that's
road
why.
record in the National
Yeah,
League.
the Mets like swept
Not
them.
named the Rockies. By the way,
the Rockies.
that's a team that needs to be studied, I think.
They have more.
That's a team that needs to just disappear.
They have more losses than any team has wins.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
5 wins. They have 5 wins.
Wait, what's their record right
5
now?
and 25. By the way, that's
Dude, that record that the White Sox set last year is going to be shattered.
The White Sox are 7-23.
woo. Up the White Sox.
Oh, dude, yeah, I am watching the Rockies White Sox
Whenever-
series.
Yeah.
stream-
When it inevitably happens, I am watching
Hold
that.
on, let's find out when it is. White Sox versus.
We'll do it on Robert Pace. Bobby
Yes,
Paine's show.
do it on my. We could stream it together. Oh my god.
Or
they
the
don't
Cameron
play.
Woolley show.
Oh no, yes they do.
The Cameron Woolley show.
Oh my god, they play on Independence Day. Oh my god, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
That is
July
just
4th,
patriotic right there.
July 4th, dude, that is America.
That is
America watching a bunch of incompetent people just go at it for a few hours.
Type yes in the chat if you want to see that. Oh my.
Oh my.
Maybe they'll have 10 wins by
No.
then.
Oh, dude.
I'll invite them over to my house and we'll watch the stream
I'm
together.
in Jersey, dude. I'm not coming all the way out to Long Island to watch that.
And maybe we can go
What
to a
could we do
neutral
to convince
site.
you?
Wait, this series should be in a neutral site, just like it should be. Neutral site. Play it in what's the worst stadium? Oakland? Sacramento?
Reopen the Coliseum.
Reopen the Coliseum.
The Trop right now.
The prop right now.
The
In-
Trop
in the
its current
Florida
state
Heat.
with the tarp still like half ripped off.
In the Florida Heat.
Yes,
Send
in
them to Montreal.
110
Send them to
degree
Montreal.
weather. The most humid, disgusting weather humanly possible. No air conditioning. And just let him go at it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
the way it should be.
that.
the
Oh my
play
play
at
at Polo Grounds. That's not
Well,
even there
They're not
anymore.
even there anymore.
No, rebuild the Polo Grounds just for this series.
No, but that should be the Field of Dreams series. Maybe they will dream about
Field of
actually
Dreams.
winning a game.
No way. No way that would be the Field of Dreams.
No, I'm just saying maybe they'll dream about winning a game. Brilliant.
Oh.
Speaking of that, let's quickly, because we're running out of time for real, send it over to the team that likes to win games, the Mets.
The Met. I can't really complain though. The injuries are starting.
Big brother.
I mean, injuries are starting to now pile up in the bullpen, which has got me a little concerned because our lefties are injured.
I mean, granted, we could get Jake Diekman. He's playing on the American League of Professional Baseball. Or something, AL,
you know-
some random league I've never heard of before.
You know, I'm good on that. I don't need to revisit him again.
Good. I'm just saying there's options out there for nothing.
Well, we don't have to consider every option, I guess.
Well, you would be surprised.
I do not want Jake D. I do not want to. Unless he's facing Aaron Judge in the world in the Subway Series.
Fair enough. David Robertson's available.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
might-
right-hander though.
I know. Well, I mean, just we
lefty.
need bodies at this point right now.
Is Brooke Traley a lefty?
Yes, but he's injured still.
Didn't we sign him?
We
or something?
did.
Oh, brilliant.
So, and he has an option after this year.
Will Smith, 35-year-old Will Smith,
He's a free agent.
apparently.
Which Will Smith?
Not the catcher,
the left-handed pitcher. I
the
know.
left-handed pitcher.
I mean,
Go.
if he can throw a fastball, or if he can throw a decent fastball,
Smiley, chat. Drew Smiley.
that's a
we like-
name.
we
I
like
haven't
Drew-
heard of it.
Dude, WBC legend Drew Smiley.
Yeah.
Goat. What do you
But
think of their performance so far?
the Mets, the pitching, the pitching is amazing. Other teams are Obadiah Stane going, Tony Stark built this with a box of scraps. David Stearns built this with a box of scraps when he didn't have to either. And it's been amazing. The pitching, I don't know. The pitching lab is amazing. I don't know.
It's working, isn't it?
It's working. Are they? Well, they may be cheating. I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know.
it's not. I mean,
But they are. As far as we know, they're not. They're just that good.
good. I mean, there's maybe some concerns, maybe in the future, maybe you need to get more better pitching depth. But right now, I think
maybe.
it's in a good spot. What do you think?
I
Also,
think,
teams have gone through stretches where their rotation severely overperforms.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's the Mets.
It's,
in a nutshell.
it's happened before. I know the 20.
Taiwan Walker,
like, I know
All-Star
that-
Taiwan Walker.
Like,
hello.
I know the
He was good,
2022
really.
Yankees spent the first 2.5 months of the season having every starter in their rotation have a sub-3 ERA.
That's good.
That's including Jameson Tyone.
Oh, he's still playing at least.
Cubs. He's at like a 7 year right now.
Oh,
I know he sucks. I know he kind
Yeah,
of
he's
sucks.
bad.
Hold on, let's look at
He's
the numbers.
really, really bad.
Time for our final random player search. Today we're doing Jameson Tyone.
but
What do we think his
J-Mo.
numbers are? Oh my god, he got he actually
mean,
looked okay.
but also another thing.
His ERA is actually down to a 4.01.
I mean, that's better.
Good. I mean, he started the season with a 12.46,
But,
so it's
yeah.
going down.
Also, I'm happy with Pete Alonso's performance, to say the least. He's gonna break the Mets home run record, hopefully.
Again.
Well,
Again.
again. Well, he's gonna take the Mets team record. So that's gonna happen.
he was
God-
breaking every offensive record, he was breaking Ed Kranepool's records.
Oh.
So every single time
RIP.
I hear
Oh.
about Met
R.I.P.
records-
R.I.P. Getty Kranepool as well.
Oh, wait, Ed Kranepool died?
yeah,
no.
yeah, like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
ago.
No, but-
No!
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Hold on. I actually have breaking news for you guys.
Okay.
We have our Hart finalists.
Oh yeah,
Are
I
you-
saw this.
Are you ready to meet them?
Let's
From
see.
the Winnipeg Jets,
Connor Hellebuck,
Connor Hellebuck. From Edmonton, Leon Draisaitl.
of course.
And from the Lightning, Nikita Kucherov.
Wait, I
Of
thought
course.
McDavid got.
Wait a second. Wait,
He's not in the final three.
Where are the Selke finalists?
I don't know, but the ESPN article I just found
Wait a minute.
has it as Hellebuck, Draisaitl,
I thought
and Kucherov.
McDavid and Drysdale somehow got both finalists for.
No, it is Connor Hellebuck. There is no Connor McDavid.
Huh.
Hellebuck, who led the league in wins, goals against average, and shutouts, and was second in save percentage. He's also the Vezina Trophy finalist. Obviously, he's probably going to win that.
And probably not make it out of the first round, even though he's up right now.
Yes, true. I think after our first bit of breaking news, you said before the show there was going to be some breaking news. Well, apparently it's with Connor Hellebuck and somehow making the Hart Trophy finalists.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible. Like that Connor McDavid's not there. Wasn't he hurt half the year though?
I don't know.
I know he was hurt for.
He's hurt for a bit.
I know he was
yes.
hurt for a cool minute, but who knows? To finish off the show, I think each of us should give a final remark. I know, Luke, we'll start with you being the senior. This is Luke's final show. I'll give a quick round of applause. Come on, Kim. For Luke,
Thank
big
you.
ups to Luke. Give a round of applause in the chat. Big ups to Luke. He's graduating in 2 weeks from Friday. I know it's like
Yeah.
kind of worrying for us, even though we both actually have a couple more years, which is because we have their grad year.
Yeah, we
So,
have our grad.
big ups
years.
to grad program. But any final remarks from you, Luke? No?
I think this show has done a lot for me. I've got to know you a lot more, gotten to know you because of through this.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Thank you for agreeing to do this show with me too.
Yeah, of course.
3 2 years ago?
Like 2 years ago.
So
Something like that.
last year we
Yeah,
we started
last year,
this.
yeah. And I'm forever grateful. And I've ridden out to be a member of the e-board for at least this 1 year, which has been great. And it's weird as it ending now.
Yeah, it's at least in
Essentially.
in the final show. I think we can both agree. All three of us can agree. The laughs were there for the final episode. There was no.
Oh,
we had,
yeah.
we had the
Yeah.
rants. We got the diss, almost do a mini diss track of Shador Sanders, and we had some laughs in the end.
Of course.
How would you
Indep-
summarize the end? I mean, we'll finish it off. With
Independence Day, White Sox.
Ah,
Rockies.
yes. The Independence Day stream.
we'll have to do that now.
I'll think about it. I mean, I am
Should.
streaming all summer for a lot of the summer, so that is a possibility. Oh, I might be actually no, I'm not commentating that weekend for now, at least, unless my team makes the playoffs. So I will be available. Final thoughts on the show in general. Of course, this being the last Ball Noise episode for you, Cam, as well. Final thoughts from you.
That was a heck of a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great group, great shows, great times. I mean, great memories. There was a lot that happened this year. I mean, like for me personally, there was so much, like not just in sports, but like in life in general, man. Like my career's grown. I mean, some personal things that I can't really bring up on the air. A lot of stuff there happened. But this was just a constant throughout all of it, and it was just great. I mean, this is a great club, great time. Wherever we go from here, I know we're gonna be great. I mean, Luke, you've got great talent. Robbie, you're talented. Me, I know I'm talented. So like,
Wow. I'm glad you know that.
Big
At
ups to confidence. Big ups, but
but man, like this is great. This is great. I mean, this show, everything about it. I mean, like we've gotten to the point where we can call live sports
yeah,
on
Yeah.
this. I mean,
That was all of you guys. You guys did that.
yeah,
man, this was changing the game.
yeah. That's what
You know, it's exciting.
The media department, I think, has grown a lot over the last couple of years too.
Yeah, it's
in
Got a
lot
lot of
ways.
people. I mean, the class of 26 alone.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
There's
look
a
at
lot of
I
intriguing.
mean, we have a
pieces.
film festival on Monday.
I mean,
too.
yeah, the film festival. Dude, I'm planning on entering something into that.
Yeah. I think. Oh, I don't know. You might have to talk to Professor.
Yeah.
quickly.
I know. No, she recommended that I put my thing
Oh,
on.
big
Like,
ups to
okay.
you as well.
like she told me. Shout out Professor Eichelhart.
Yeah.
She's great.
I'm gonna finish it off. First of all, big ups to these two because at the end of the beginning of this year, I didn't have a show to be on.
Mhm.
Into the Stands broke up in September, and I didn't have a show, but I know these two really wanted me to work with them
Yeah.
at least for a year. And when the opportunity came for me to work with them, it's kind of hard not to say no to these two.
Yeah.
So the dynamic we had, and I got to meet Luke a couple times last year, and I've known Cam since we did the draft special together.
Yeah. We
in freshman year.
briefly met a couple times freshman year.
Yeah,
But the
'cause-
draft special is when that was the first time I ever worked with you.
Yeah, that was an experience I'll never forget. That's
That
for
was
sure.
fun.
That was
you,
a,
me, Colin, Chris.
we were like flipping out with Deontay Banks. Oh my god, the days
Oh.
chat.
the Mario Kart tournament.
Oh my god.
The stench.
Oh my god. That was a time, wasn't it? And then
that was a great event.
getting to
though.
meet Luke a couple times last year
I
and
think
watching your guys' show, I knew the dynamic you two had. And I know that's something that I wish my other show that I worked with had it. We had that flair for a while, but they wanted to go a different direction. They stayed with a lot. I mean, they're two Salesian guys. They work together, and they've worked together for me for a long time, so I kind of get it. And then you guys offering it to me, I couldn't say no, and I couldn't be more grateful to work with you for the last 9 months. It was a hell of a ride, and I'll greatly miss Luke, and I'll be greatly miss working with you as well.
I mean,
Cam.
we'll
It's-
still be working.
Oh, yeah,
together
I mean,
on
but-
like the other things.
yeah,
like, of
absolutely.
course.
But here as well, I mean, it will definitely be. I'll definitely feel like there's a void for me because working with him, you guys don't get it. And this is the good thing, by the way. You don't know what you're gonna get from Cam, and no matter what version of Cam you get, you know it's gonna be good content. And you
Yes.
learn that from Sports Grid. Sports Grid, if you follow Sports Grid, this guy I think gets the most views there now, or like one of the guys.
I
that
don't
gets
want
them.
to toot my own horn.
You
here.
just
you
did.
just did.
No, not in that way. I want to.
But you kind of get what I'm going at, right? And it's been a pleasure working with you two. And as for the club, I'll briefly give some remarks. I know there's some
Mr.
people,
President.
Mr.
Mr.
President,
President.
that I was supposed to say on Tuesday, but I didn't. Launching, I think for me being president next year, there's a lot for me to learn still. And I think being able to work with a bunch of incoming freshmen or transfer students and being able to grow the club. Next year, we have an opportunity as a club. My fellow WIUR members, I'm kidding. Next year we have an opportunity to really grow this club in a way they've never seen it before. And the opportunity we have, especially for broadcasting, and what I have planned, if everything goes to plan, is something that can develop students and can help grow this program in ways they've never seen. And if everything goes to plan, I think we could have one of the biggest years WIUR's ever had. If you remember, and we've talked to Professor Demergis about this before, WIUR used to be the biggest media club. Used to be people who wanted to get in here and fight for times. And hopefully, as your president, will try to bring up the popularity and continue the mission of trying to grow this program, grow this club to be where it's supposed to be. And I can't wait to work with Cam or work with the incoming freshman or work with Pietro and the other guys, Tyler as well, Chloe and Brian. I can't wait to work with them. And I can't wait.
Tyler Gill, the
Go.
de facto mayor
of
of this
Iona.
school.
Watch his show tomorrow. Watch his show tomorrow, and you'll understand what we're talking about.
He has like a new guest like every.
He
That's
knows
a
everybody.
Show, by the way.
I don't know what he.
But, ladies and gentlemen, it is now that time. This is where we say goodbye. For Cameron Woolley, my right-hand man, and for Luke Dolan, our graduating senior, who will be missed for his time on WIUR. I am your incoming president, Robbie Basil, for the final time, saying so long from the Murphy Center. You have been listening to Ball Knowers on WIUR. So long, everyone.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.